Hello, this is Taecyeon from 2PM. It is my great pleasure to provide today's audio guide for this exhibition. Introduction. The Light exhibition is held at the Culture ICT Pavilion during the 2018 Pyeongchang Olympic and Paralympic Games. The exhibition displays the works of media art by its founder, Nam Jun-baek, and artists who have followed in his footsteps, including Jae Liu and Lee Kyung, to proliferate the beauty of this genre. Under the theme of light, the exhibition is set to follow the stars, referring to the Korean artists and their works. The exhibition can be divided into 3 separate sections, with each section using light in a different way to create art. The first section uses the building's walls and lobby and includes projection mapping works by Jae Liu to show pictures of light. The second section focuses on spaces of light and includes a collaboration between Nam Jun-baek and Lee Kyung. Finally, the third section presents objects of light, displaying works by Korea's modern and contemporary artists. The highlight of the exhibition is the media art of Nam Jun-baek. Baek was born in Korea, where he spent his younger years before traveling the world. During his time abroad, he used his artistic talent not only to share Korean art with others at a time when very little was known about it in the Western world, but also to teach others about Korea and its culture. In a sense, Baek could be seen as the original father of Hallyu, or the Korean wave. Interestingly, while other artists worked with canvases and paints, Baek created art using videos and TV screens as his medium, commanding light to create masterpieces. Of the works displayed are Turtle and M200, 2 highlight pieces that Baek created during the peak of his artistic career. Exhibition Lobby, Jae Liu. When entering the lobby, exhibition goers are greeted by Jae Liu's piece entitled Feel Korea. The work displays symbolic objects of Korea and uses projection mapping effects to help audiences experience Korean culture in a brand new way. He utilizes the walls of the lobby and projection mapping to present a new type of spatial art. He presents objects symbolic of Korea history, culture, and people, including pagoda, images of Buddha, 첨성대, tigers, and more. He mixes traditional elements with modern technology to create a blend of video imagery, objects, space, and time, presenting a dreamlike atmosphere that transcends the physical limitation of the expression. In addition to his contributions through the mixing of light and traditional art, Jae Liu is highly regarded for his work involving Korea's national treasures. Such works include the Deoksu Palace project and the Media 첨성대, which was displayed at the COEX lobby during the Seoul G20 Summit Conference, both of which used large screens and bright lights to create an ode to history through art. Lee Kyung Waterfall Tunnel. After passing through the lobby, audiences are welcomed by a tunnel-like hallway decorated with video imagery taken by artist Lee Kyung of the Cheonjeon Waterfall in Jeju Island. The lifelike imagery makes beholders feel as if they are passing through the waterfall firsthand. Scattered throughout the waterfall are flickering neon TV screens, a creation by Baek, which serve as a guiding light through the tunnel. The first piece of art on display in the waterfall is Baek's Heaven and Earth, Dark and Yellow, which uses the case of a traditional analog TV filled with neon, various objects, and drawings that together express a variety of messages. The title is first phrased from the 1,000-character classic, which is the book implies Oriental cosmology and philosophy. As a piece of media art that also captures the emotional nature of the analog world, this piece represents Baek's perception of dreams, love, the world, and the universe. In a sense, it could be seen as a self-portrait of the artist himself, displaying humorous faces to represent a dreamlike fantasy. This piece also represents Baek's East Asian perception of the universe and philosophy, with the glasses in the center of the neon light representing himself looking out upon the world. There is also a line in the center representing the separation between the heavenly and the earthly realm, and his glasses again represent the same division between the sky and earth. It is in this sense that Baek uses his art to express his own personal vision of the world. Following his first piece, the second piece of Baek's work, found in the Waterfall, is entitled Love is 10,000 Miles. The man and woman in the piece are gazing at each other, but the TVs on their eyes do not show each other's reflection. This work represents lovers who are spiritually bound by love, but physically separated by distance. It is a representation of the emotions Baek himself experienced while abroad and away from his family and loved ones. In another sense, it can also represent today's era of technology and how lovers can see each other's faces no matter how far apart they are. The poetic title of this piece is another reminder of Baek's literary talent. The final piece of artwork in the Waterfall is dish antenna, which refers to the parabolic antenna used to pick up satellite signals. Baek was interested in satellite technology in the 1980s and even began to develop TV show to spread art worldwide. His efforts resulted in the satellite opera trilogy, consisting of Good Morning Mr. Owell in 1984, Bye Bye Kipling in 1986, and Hand in Hand in 1988, commemorating the 1988 Seoul Olympics. Bye Bye Kipling is known for the phrase East is East and West is West, and never the twain shall meet, a binary from Rudyard Kipling's thinking that Baek was able to disprove through his success in sharing his work with the world, turning him into a world-renowned artist. This exhibition marks 30 years since the release of Baek's Hand in Hand, which makes the collaboration for 2018 Pyeongchang Olympics that much more meaningful for today's artists. Space of Light, From the Waterfall to the World, Namjoon Baek, Lee Kyung collaboration. This section of the exhibition displays Namjoon Baek's works together with Lee Kyung's artistic command of light. Hundreds of Baek's monitors show various video, images, and colors, while Lee Kyung uses lasers and beam of light that together create a space of light through the mutual harmony of the two artists. This space is home to several of Baek's famous works, including Turtle, M200, and TV chandeliers. Turtle and M200 are works completed not by Baek alone, but with the help of electrical technicians and video editors. This is just one example of how Baek enjoys working together with other artists and experts in different fields, and appreciates the talent they are offered in the contribution they made. If Baek had been alive today, he surely would have sought to collaborate with Lee Kyung and her mastery of light to create even more mysterious and fantastic spaces of art. Lee Kyung stated that she took part in this collaboration with Baek's own words, "My jubilee is unberehemmet. Nothing shall halt my jubilee." On the open sea, Baek's turtle swims in a space that is as wide and vast as the universe itself. M200 shows individual dancing and birds flying, and Chandelier presents romantic imagery through a hanging chandelier whose candlelight moves along with light. With all of this imagery, audiences again feel guided by the light, leading them somewhere new. M200 is a huge video wall composed of 86 TV monitors, which commemorates the 200-year anniversary of Mozart's death. M200 includes sounds and video clips edited by Baek himself, presenting a glorious visual and audio display that almost resembles a moving mural. The masterpiece shows the artist's insight in his prediction that the brown tube would become a replacement for the traditional canvas for artists in the future, showing that his take on art was indeed far ahead of his time. Mozart's Requiem plays while the videos created by many artists who collaborated with Baek, including John Cage, Merce Cunningham, Joseph Beuys, and David Bowie, play on the monitors. The piece is an expression of Baek's interpretation of the fact that no one can escape death, inspired by the death of his close contemporaries, whom he considered to have played an important role in his artistic career. He stated, "There is no rewind button to life," and believed that something must die for something new to take its place, a philosophy of life that is reflected in this piece of art. Just as Mozart's Requiem plays on, despite the fact that he himself has long passed away, M200 serves as a similar piece for Baek, providing an opportunity for him to look back on his life and the pieces he created that will remain long after he too has left this world behind. Turtle, the masterpiece of a genius artist. Turtle is an artwork composed of 166 TV monitors that are put together to create an enormous video installation piece. It is considered to be the quintessence of Baek's architectural and sculptural video art. The turtle appears often throughout Baek's works, representing longevity in East Asian culture, but also symbolically represented as Hyunmu, the guardian of the dead in mythology. The work was created in 1993 when Baek received a Golden Lion for Lifetime Achievement Award at La Biennale di Venezia, marking a new milestone in his career as the world-renowned artist. At the time he was creating a series on heroes, the turtle in his masterpiece was created with the national hero Admiral Sun Shin-yi in mind. Here, monitors show images of the statue of Sun Shin-yi and the famous turtle ships. The turtle swimming through the ocean of artwork represents the turtle ships that Admiral Yi helmed in his valiant efforts to save fellow Koreans. This video sculpture is the iconic representation of Baek's unique style of art in its fusion of nature and technology and East and West. Although the late artist can no longer present us with his artistic talents, Turtle realizes the intentions Baek had in his imagery and the philosophy that life is short but art is eternal. The turtle, a symbol for longevity and immortality, also represents Baek's artistic prowess and the beauty that he had perceived and continued to do so despite the fact that the artist himself is no longer with us. Video chandelier, which hangs from the ceiling, is not your everyday light fixture. Through Baek's artistic vision, it has taken a media artistic twist. TV gardens and TV fish represents a harmonious fusion of the technology and nature, symbolizing the artist's hope for harmony in all aspects of life. Video chandelier's decorative elements and the natural elements of ivy also symbolizes the purity and the beauty of love. Through this artwork, viewers can discover the beauty of nature through video imagery. Baek once stated that nature is beautiful because it is always changing, and the moving images of nature through technology represent that very concept. More about Namjoon Baek. Following the area of Namjoon Baek and Lee Kyung's fantastic collaboration using light, exhibition goers then come to a space where they can learn about Baek. Here, information is presented on the artist, a pioneer who brought the world's attention to Korea on his own, through creative works of video art and introduced a new vision of art itself. Namjoon Baek's passion and enthusiasm for art were vividly reflected in Youngkyun Im's photography works in New York. Youngkyun Im's photograph collection of Namjoon Baek. Photographer Youngkyun Im was a close friend of Baek's since 1982, at which point the artist was residing in New York. Im, being the closest person to Baek, used photography as a means to keeping a record of artist's career during the 80s and 90s. These photographs are of value as records of Baek's performances and artistic life. As the subject of Im's photography, Baek is portrayed not as the world-renowned artist that everyone knew, but in a different light, as a human being who was just like everyone else. Object of Light. Following the life of Namjoon Baek is the exhibition section known as Objects of Light. On display here are the works of Korea's most well-known contemporary artists. The 21 works are divided into 3 themes: scenes of life, reflection of imagery, and connecting with the world. These artists are lighting the path for the next chapter in Korean art, and the works here are sure to set the tone for other aspiring artists. Please take your time in appreciating the beauty and diversity of Korean art in the context of history and time. Part 1. Scenes of Life. In the late 19th century and the early 20th century, Korean art entered a new phase. Departing from traditional Oriental painting techniques, the content and the theme of these works went through a significant change as the Western techniques were introduced in Korea. Afterwards, Korean art grew more profound on all levels, portraying scenes from the artists' lives themselves as well as images of everyday life. In the section titled Scenes of Life, you will meet the works of the Hwan-gi Kim, Uk-jin Jang, Jung-sup Lee, Eun-ro Lee, Hyun-gi Park, Young-guk Yoo, Byung-woo Bae, and Moon-sup Shim, artists who embraced the beauty of this new approach to art. Located at the entrance of this section is a piece called Untitled by Hwan-gi Kim. Kim is known as a pioneer in Korean abstract art. In this painting, the whole canvas is filled with thousands of blue and gray dots to the geometric order of stars glimmering in the beauty of the night sky. Although this is an abstract piece, Kim believes that art is the imagery of nature's music. As such, this piece exudes a warm, poetic atmosphere through the flowing rhythm and shape of the dots. Jung-sup Lee is a well-renowned painter, often referred to as the Van Gogh of Korea. In contrast with the business of today's world, his works are characterized by the depiction of rural imagery, such as cows, chicken, fish, carts, and young children. Other pieces take on a more personal approach, depicting images of family. A married couple and children, fish, and a crab are works that show Lee's affection toward his family. Along with Soo-geun Park, Jung-sup Lee, and Hwan-gi Kim, Uk-jin Jang is another artist representing Korea's modern art. He focuses on simple subjects that are seen around us all the time, including trees, birds, children, and family. His piece Magpie depicts one of his favorite subjects to work with. Here, Jang uses curved and straight lines to make various shapes in his depiction of the magpie. This is the artist's most representative work, utilizing a simple approach to depict the essence of the natural world through the eyes of childlike Naviet. Through his work, Eun-ro Lee makes various experimental attempts at modernizing Oriental painting. His work feels decorative and contemporary, while also reminiscent of traditional Korean munjado, a genre of painting based on the transformation of letter figures. In this work, titled Composition, letters have their shapes freely pulled apart and then recombined to create new abstract imagery. Hyun-gi Park started video installation work in the 1970s and is considered to have succeeded Nam Jun-baek with the introduction of television sets in his artwork. Through his work, Park depicts the fine line of tension between reality and illusion. The piece Entitled shows the contrasting imagery of reality in the form of rocks and that of illusion through piled television sets, which attempt to mimic reality on their screens. When it comes to Korean abstract art, Young-guk Yoo is a pioneering artist who mainly focuses on the theme of mountains in his work. This piece, titled Mountain, transforms the everyday mountains that we are familiar with into more sophisticated and artistic imagery. Through bold colors and shapes, Yoo redefines mountains as we know them into abstract masterpieces of art. Byung-woo Bae is a renowned photographer known for his work with pine trees. He's known for playing a vital role in the rapid rise of photography in Korea during the 1990s. He chose the pine tree as his subject because he felt that it resembles the nature of Korea and its people, standing tall and firm and surviving against all odds. The black and white photo of the pine trees with the vague light of dawn slightly breaking from a distance emphasizes the tree lines and variation in tone. The work is reminiscent of sumukwa, a genre of traditional Korean black and white painting that utilizes ink. Moon-sup Shin is perhaps the most outstanding of all abstract sculptors in Korea. His works are strikingly unconventional and awe-inspiring, yet at the same time strangely familiar through the material he uses. Shin's work, titled Wood Deity, evokes a sense of mystery and wonder, while also being reminiscent of traditional furniture and agricultural tool. Part 2. Reflection of Imagery. In the modern and contemporary era, Korean art has undergone numerous variations manifest themselves as reflection of the inner selves of artists. Artists have contributed to this shift in theme by presenting pieces on their own mental imagery, by experimenting with form, and by expressing interest in the new media. In Part 2, you will have the opportunity to see the works of Taecyeon Park, Youngjae Kim, Sujin Jung, and Woo-han Lee. Sujin Jung's work, Still Life in Progress, depicts her own art studio. She began by drawing the studio and then gradually adding all of the related things that came to mind one by one. In this sense, her piece is not merely a snapshot of a single moment, but rather a continuous series of moments strung together as one. Taecyeon Park's work is regarded as exemplary of the contemporary expression of sumukwa, a genre of traditional Korean black and white painting that utilizes ink. Park is almost playful in his depiction of fine details, adding some here and taking some away there. The end result is an image that seeks to expand the emotion of the beholder. The piece Kumgang Mountain shows the magnificent view of the landscape in a rounded shape that almost resembles a fan. With gushing waterfall pouring across the scene, Park truly conveys the majesty of the mountain. Youngjae Kim is an iconic landscape painter in Korea. He works mainly with mountain and river imagery in Korea from the early 1970s, using blue hues to evoke a poetic and warm atmosphere. This work, Snow-Topped Seorak Mountain, uses a contrast of colors, perspective, and shading to emphasize the borders running alongside and in between the towering mountains. Woo-han Lee is known for applying the Western techniques of minimalism and conceptual art to East Asian style. His work mainly consists of simple imagery composed of lines and dots connected on a white canvas. Two of his works, titled From Lines and From Points, are paintings through which Lee tries to seek out and express the origin of the world through a series of processes. Although dots and lines are still and silent when observed on their own, through Lee's work, they take on a rhythm to create an image that feels very much alive. Part 3. Connecting the World. In Part 3, Connecting the World, on display are the works of Ik-jung-kang, Dong-gi Lee, Kyung-won Moon, and Junho Jeon, and Su-kyung Lee. We hope this provides an opportunity to appreciate Korean art here and now. Shin Moon is an artist who sought for abstractness through his mastery of geometrical curves, circles, and semicircles. Through this abstractness, he attempts to observe the origin of life and explore the unknown world. Moon is known for his various art methods, but can be recognized by his representation of nature in the form of symmetrical entities, such as birds, insects, and flowers, in an effort to portray harmony and vitality. Untitled is an ebony piece that has a distinct symmetry that seems to stem from nature itself. Ik-jung-kang's Samnamansang is composed of 10,000 small canvases put together to create one huge piece of artwork. Each 3x3 canvas is connected and combined with the others to represent the vastness of the universe and the endlessness of nature. Overlooking this huge piece is a chrome statue of the Maitreya, or future Buddha, inviting beholders to consider vanity and matter as representations of the void. Dong-gi Lee is known as an artist who draws a unique character called Atomouse that combines Atom, a Japanese cartoon character, and Mickey Mouse, an American cartoon character. The piece is called Bubble because Atomao's face floats around just as a bubble would. Balance is an important theme in Yi's artwork, that a careful balance must be maintained in order for a delicate bubble not to pop. Yeondu-jung creates a world of his own where reality and unreality cross each other, dealing with dreams, romance, passion, memories, and nostalgia through his work. He's one of the most active artists both at home and abroad. This work shows both an ideal, glamorous world of colorful magic and an awkward reality of camera tricks and clumsy magic at the same time. News from Nowhere, which is a collaboration between Kyungwon Moon and Junho Jeon, is a project on the theme of social function and the role of art. This work is based on a novel of the 19th century British sociologist and designer William Morris. In his novel, he imagined a visit to England 100 years in the future and criticized the contemporary British aristocracy. Moon and Jeon also hoped that the project would be a way to appreciate the present and imagine the future. This work is about the future when a man who survived right before the end of humanity and a woman from the Neo-Anthropocene realize the aesthetic consciousness and paint the changes in the future. The Translated Vase series is widely known as Soo-kyung Lee's representative work. She reinterpreted broken pieces of pottery in the form of a collage to transform them into new objects. Her work transcends time and is linked to the shamanistic acts of aspiring for rebirth and resurrection. Ending. Ladies and gentlemen, you have now reached the end of your expedition through Objects of Light and have enjoyed 21 pieces of modern Korean art. From Pictures of Light to Spaces of Light, and finally, Objects of Light. We hope you have learned about the father of media art, Nam Jun-baek, and experienced modern Korean art. This now marks the end of your light exhibition experience. So now we pose the question, what does light mean to you? Here at Pyeongchang, light is all around us and is beautiful in all its forms, from sunrises to sunsets, and even the moon and the stars. We hope that you enjoyed your experience with light and that you continue to enjoy all the light that Pyeongchang has to offer. Thank you.